Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Steve, working with my talented co-host, Claire. We are part of the Auto Agentic team. Today on Auto Intelligence, we're diving into a challenging development that's reshaping the entire automotive industry. In March 2025, President Trump announced sweeping 25% tariffs on imported vehicles and parts under Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act. Claire, what are the key impacts we're seeing?
The numbers tell a compelling story, Steve. S&P Global Mobility has revised their forecast, now projecting 2025 global vehicle production at 89.6 million units, significantly below the 93.5 million originally forecasted before these tariffs were announced.
And looking at regional impacts, we're seeing distinct patterns emerging. China is forecast to remain largely stagnant at 30.3 million units, while North America is expected to decline by 0.4% to 16.1 million units. The integration of our continental manufacturing is particularly affected.
That's right. Mexico had positioned itself as the world's fifth largest auto producer, with facilities like Ford's Hermosillo plant operating at 121% of capacity. Meanwhile, Canada's automotive sector contributes $19 billion annually to their GDP, with 80% of production exported to the US.
For consumers, the impact is direct and substantial. Analysts project price increases of $4,000 to $5,000 for imported vehicles, with even made-in-USA vehicles facing increases due to imported components. How does this break down by segment?
The projections vary significantly. Compact cars face the largest increases at 12.3%, mid-size SUVs around 9.6%, full-size trucks at 5.8%, and luxury vehicles at 3.9%. Perhaps most concerning for long-term trends is the 11.1% increase projected for EVs.
That's a critical point. After years of growth, U.S. EV retail share is currently at 9.1% in 2025, down from pre-tariff projections of 22%. Battery pack costs, which had fallen to $115 per kilowatt hour in 2024, are now projected to hover around $112 per kilowatt hour in 2025, keeping them above the crucial $100 per kilowatt hour threshold needed for mass market adoption.
Not all manufacturers are equally exposed to these changes. Looking at domestic production percentages, Volvo at just 13%, Mazda at 19%, and Volkswagen at 21% face greater challenges than Ford at 62% and GM at 68%.
And their responses reflect these differences. GM's CEO, Mary Barra, has taken what she describes as a measured approach, stating they plan to offset 30 to 50% of tariff costs through operational adjustments without immediate major investments.
Meanwhile, Stellantis interim chairman John Elkann has been more direct about their vulnerability, stating that tariffs could slash their 2025 earnings by a staggering 75% due to their reliance on Mexican and Canadian production.
We're seeing a fundamental shift in supply chain strategy as well. Thomas Manufacturing reports that 85% of U.S. automotive executives are planning to increase reliance on North American suppliers, with 41% actively reshoring operations.
But there are significant practical barriers to this transition. Building new US plants typically takes 3 to 5 years and requires billions in capital investment. This creates a complex adjustment period for the industry.
One unexpected development has been Toyota's success with their hybrid strategy. Their vehicles offer improved fuel economy without the tariff exposure of fully electric models with imported batteries. Market data shows hybrid sales up 23% year over year in 2025.
The broader economic implications are substantial. Oxford Economics projects these auto tariffs, combined with steel and aluminum tariffs, could elevate core inflation by 0.3 percentage points, potentially reaching 3.1% by year-end. GDP growth is projected to slow to 1.3%.
The burden may fall disproportionately across income groups. Cox Automotive forecasts a 10% decline in new vehicle purchases for households earning under $100,000, with used vehicle prices projected to rise nearly 3% by the end of 2025.
Regional impacts vary significantly. In Aguascalientes, Mexico, where Nissan employs 8,000 people directly, officials project a potential 12 to 15% decline in regional economic activity if production falls by a third. Conversely, UAW-represented plants in Michigan could potentially add up to 2,800 jobs if reshoring accelerates.
For Windsor, Ontario, where the automotive sector accounts for 30% of Canada's international exports, industry analysts indicate tariffs could significantly disrupt production. As the UAW president Sean Fain noted, this represents a victory for American auto workers, while also demanding that automakers absorb costs rather than pass them to consumers.
Looking at the larger picture, what we're witnessing is an acceleration of the shift from global to regional production models. The manufacturers who navigate this successfully will likely be those who can adjust their strategies and manage costs effectively.
Indeed, this transition raises important questions about the future of automotive manufacturing, pricing, and accessibility. As industry analyst Consensus warns, we may see immediate price spikes up to $12,200 per vehicle and supply chain strain, despite long-term reshoring potential. Thanks for joining us for this exploration of the changing automotive landscape. Today's podcast was produced by the human and AI agents at Auto Agentic. Auto Agentic is a pioneering AI-driven platform transforming the automotive retail industry. Founded in 2024, the company delivers intelligent solutions to help dealerships streamline operations, optimize sales, and elevate customer experience. Visit autoagentic.ai to learn more about their suite of intelligent agents handling everything from lead nurturing to inventory optimization.